Recent developments in the Middle East are raising serious questions about whether tensions are escalating further or quietly moving toward de-escalation behind closed doors. According to multiple emerging reports, former U.S. President Donald Trump is believed to be actively exploring diplomatic options with Iran. While public messaging continues to emphasize strength and deterrence, insiders suggest that private discussions may be taking place aimed at reducing the risk of a prolonged conflict. At the same time, the situation on the ground remains highly uncertain. Various media outlets and regional sources have reported a series of alleged military incidents involving U.S. forces in the Gulf region. Some of these claims suggest that advanced American aircraft may have been targeted during recent operations. However, it is important to note that many of these reports remain unverified and have not been officially confirmed by U.S. defense authorities. One of the most widely discussed claims involves the possible targeting of a U.S. stealth fighter jet, specifically the F-35 Lightning II. According to certain reports, the aircraft may have been detected using alternative tracking methods that rely on heat signatures rather than traditional radar systems. Experts explain that stealth aircraft like the F-35 are designed to evade radar detection by minimizing their electromagnetic signature. However, infrared tracking systems operate differently. Instead of relying on radar waves, they attempt to identify objects based on thermal emissions. While such technology exists, its effectiveness against advanced stealth platforms remains a subject of ongoing debate. Some sources claim that these systems were used successfully, resulting in damage to an aircraft that was later forced to make an emergency landing. Again, there is no official confirmation of this scenario, and defense analysts caution against drawing conclusions without verified evidence. In addition to these claims, there have been multiple reports of other aviation-related incidents in the region. These include alleged crashes, emergency landings, and even friendly fire situations involving U.S. aircraft. In complex conflict environments, such incidents can occur for a variety of reasons, including technical malfunctions, miscommunication, or operational challenges. Meanwhile, Iran's military leadership has released statements suggesting that they have conducted coordinated responses against what they describe as hostile actions. These statements include claims of targeting U.S. positions and military infrastructure across several locations in the Gulf region. However, as with many wartime narratives, both sides are presenting their own versions of events. From the U.S. perspective, officials continue to emphasize that their military operations are focused on maintaining regional stability and protecting strategic interests. According to official briefings, recent operations have significantly reduced certain military capabilities of opposing forces. At the same time, U.S. officials have not publicly confirmed many of the specific incidents being reported in international media. This highlights the challenge of separating verified information from speculation in rapidly evolving conflict situations. Beyond the battlefield, there are increasing indications that diplomatic channels remain active. Reports suggest that countries such as Pakistan and Turkey may be playing a role in facilitating communication between Washington and Tehran. These efforts are believed to be aimed at preventing further escalation and exploring the possibility of a ceasefire or broader agreement. There have also been discussions in the media about a potential multi-point proposal for de-escalation. While details remain unclear, it is believed that such proposals could include conditions related to military activity, regional security, and economic considerations. However, officials on both sides have been cautious about confirming any specific terms. Public statements indicate that negotiations, if they are taking place, are highly sensitive and ongoing. Interestingly, while strong rhetoric continues to dominate headlines, there are subtle signs that both sides may be evaluating off-ramps to avoid a wider conflict. Statements attributed to U.S. leadership suggest that while military options remain on the table, there is also a preference for a resolution that avoids further destruction. Similarly, Iranian officials have emphasized their own conditions and expectations, while signaling that they are not closing the door entirely on dialogue. This combination of public firmness and private diplomacy is not unusual in international conflicts. Leaders often maintain strong public positions while allowing room for negotiation behind the scenes. Another key aspect of the situation is the strategic importance of the Gulf region, particularly critical waterways such as the Strait of Hormuz. This area plays a vital role in global energy supply, and any disruption could have significant economic consequences worldwide. As a result, both military and diplomatic actions in the region are being closely watched by governments, analysts, and markets around the world. In recent weeks, there have also been reports of increased military deployments. The United States is said to have reinforced its presence in the region, while Iran continues to demonstrate its defensive and strategic capabilities. Such developments can serve multiple purposes. On one hand, they act as a deterrent. On the other, they can also increase tensions if not carefully managed. Despite the uncertainty, one thing remains clear. The information environment surrounding this conflict is highly complex. In today's digital age, reports can spread rapidly across social media and international news platforms. However, not all information is verified, and some claims may be exaggerated or misinterpreted. This is why analysts and observers consistently stress the importance of relying on credible sources and official statements when evaluating such situations. As of now, there is no confirmed evidence to support some of the more dramatic claims circulating online, particularly those involving large-scale destruction of advanced military assets. Investigations into reported incidents are still ongoing, and more clarity may emerge over time. Meanwhile, diplomatic efforts appear to be continuing quietly. Officials have indicated that conversations are taking place, although specific details are not being disclosed. This level of secrecy is typical in high-stakes negotiations, where premature disclosure could complicate the process. There are also indications that both sides are weighing the costs of continued escalation versus the potential benefits of a negotiated outcome. For the United States, maintaining stability in the region is a key priority. For Iran, ensuring sovereignty and addressing security concerns remain central issues. Balancing these interests is not easy, and any agreement would likely require significant compromises. As the situation develops, observers are watching for key signals. These include changes in military activity, official statements from leadership, and any confirmed diplomatic breakthroughs. Until then, much of what is being discussed remains part of an evolving and often uncertain narrative. In conclusion, while headlines may suggest dramatic developments, the reality is more nuanced. There are signs of both tension and potential dialogue. Claims of military incidents continue to circulate, but many remain unverified. At the same time, diplomatic efforts may be quietly shaping the next phase of this situation. For viewers and audiences, the most important approach is to stay informed, remain cautious about unverified information, and follow updates from reliable and official sources. The coming days and weeks will likely provide more clarity on whether this situation moves toward escalation or resolution.